yang dari IG juga ingin lihat, dan bersama Layyina Humaira. Layyina? Assalamualaikum. So Alhamdulillah, we can actually have something together today, and I wish I could actually share the slides to those who are in Instagram. But if you would like to join us, you can join us in this one. I can write down. Can you write down there in the Instagram? Oh. So actually, we can write down the Google Meet if you would like to join in Google Meet, and the camera is not clear. Okay, Anwar. So I think in Instagram is a bit is clear enough, and I think we would like to have some presentations. And let me check if this one. Did you look at this? Windows. Window. IG Live, yes, IG Live, Miss Anda, we are already in IG Live. Sakinah Finance IG Live. Gitu.
Afwan, madam, I think your voice is not here, madam, because you on unmute mode. On mute mode, madam. Afwan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Anwar. So yeah, I hope that everyone can participate. Just drop your questions and just say anytime you wish. Then we will deal with that. And if you do not really aware about the well, I can't actually post my slides on Instagram, but I think if you would like to see, there has been actually a record on YouTube and Facebook. You can have a look. Just to what is Sakinah Finance SE has been actually on the history that we've been actually doing Sakinah Finance for the past 7 years, and we have visited about 20 countries, Alhamdulillah. And I hope my friends and the alumni of Sakinah Finance from all these countries are joining us today in Facebook, in Instagram, and in the Google Meet, or later on in the YouTube. So we actually have reached about 12,000 participants as per today, and Alhamdulillah, has been actually increasing interest to get to know about Sakinah Finance. And today is actually our last day in April to mingle around with you. But of course, we have actually daily consultations, and we have actually daily talk with our alumni, so you can engage with them anytime. We will let you post it later. So these are the countries that we actually have visited. We have been in Dubai, we have been in UAE, UK, of course. UK has been actually almost all tens of countries that we have, tens of cities that we have actually visited, and Germany, Netherlands, Canada, USA, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Philippines. The last country was Russia, and of course several cities in Indonesia. And Alhamdulillah, we have just actually launched our book called Tujuh Prinsip Pendapatan, and you can always get the book from the marketplace, or you can contact Sakinah Finance. And these are the books that we actually would like to launch in the near future. That we have actually Zakat, and we have English version as well. We have Verses of Tranquility, so where it contains hadith and Quran and hadith about Sakinah Finance, about family finance. And also we have Sakinah Finance translated into English. So just wait for the books, and these are the at glance, Sakinah Finance at glance. You can see some of the activities that we have actually carried out. And there's alumni on stage. We also have some active alumni who have been actually spreading the message of Sakinah Finance, and we hope that it's going to be more our participations, and I hope you will become the Sakinah Finance alumni also in the future. So Pak Luqyan, I would like to hand over the microphone to you on the call of the Ramadan, and also the impact of Ramadan to our family finance. Yes, Pak Luqyan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All our dear friends who are participating online today, we are very pleased, very happy to be in contact with you again. And I hope this bond that we have established over the years will become stronger and stronger. And we do appreciate our colleagues in Indonesia, especially from Tazkiyah and Sakinah Finance teams, who have been working in the past few years to create new platforms for us to engage with our brothers and sisters across many countries. We were fortunate to be able to live in few countries in extended years. We've been studying in 4 places. But I think the most important part of this journey, this past journey for us, as well as for Sakinah Finance, is the relationship that got built. This is not just so-called just speakers with the audience or financial consultants with their clients, but this is a bond among brothers and sisters. Because we believe in order for us to survive in these uncertain times is to be able to manage our priorities right. In order, we must be able to manage our finance right. We must be able to manage our time right, because there are a lot of uncertainties in finance, in life, politics, etc. So we like to invite and share our patients on managing finance properly, because we found finance is key in some parts of our life, or if not key, it is enabling. Enabling situations that has to be fulfilled. It's like for vehicle, it is perhaps the fuel that supports the vehicle to move. That's why in this month of blessings, in this month of Ramadan, we'd like to share with you, especially we are in the COVID-19 situations. We are all locked down, and we need to look deep into our family. In what state are we, spiritually, emotionally, physically, as well as financially. So there are perhaps at least 4 things where we need to correct. We need to get it right this Ramadan. We need to stay close to Allah. We need to be able to get closer to Allah. So spiritually, we have to be able to perform all the fardu, as well as the sunnah. Emotionally, we have to be strong, because we are staying home. We are staying at home. We even kind of go back for our Eid. To visit our relatives, our parents. So this is emotionally distressing for so many people. And because we sit a lot at home, we are confined to small space. We need to stay fit as well. We need to move. We need to exercise. We need to get our body fit to perform fasting, as well as to perform our works if we work at home. And of course, financially, the temptation is not less by staying home. I think the temptation is much greater, at least for us. We are online most of the times, and online you see a lot of ads flashing up into your social media platforms. You open any platform, suddenly after few minutes, an ad comes, because the ad is so smart. They know what you want at that particular time. So you can't avoid any temptation these days. So the shaitan has perhaps invaded the advertising industry as well, perhaps, because they can whisper very useful things, because they know you not just for a day, but they have been with you for many years. So, and this is even worse. This algorithm, because they read your mind, they read your brain, they even know your patterns. They know you better than yourself. So these are 4 things that I think what the Quran has emphasized, that we need to become a pious person, al-muttaqin, la'allakum tattaqun. So to be close to Allah, to be not just fear of Allah, but also we must be fearsome of our temptations. So as I mentioned just now, the situation today, we are tempted to be idle, so physically we will not be fit. We are tempted to be stressful, because a lot of things coming our way. Our neighbors are getting positive result of COVID-19. Our family at home, a relative at home calling us what happened to us, and they are also perhaps having facing situations make us stressful, and then financially, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the temptation to buy online, as well as perhaps the temptation to stockpile things. We are worried that the virus, the pandemic will last longer. So we are perhaps let's buy things, like buy this and that. Who knows, the shop will close. That's another panic panic consumption, panic buying. Or so it's not just compulsive through online, but also there's a sense of panicky in our side, in ourselves, that tells us let's buy stuff before they close, before they. What we face, for instance, we cannot find antiseptic liquids these days, right? It's khalas, no more in the shops. Whenever it is available, it's sold out in a few minutes or a few hours. So, of course, we need these antiseptics or other products. But of course, it's why Sakinah Finance try to engage with all of our colleagues, our friends, to share this anxiety, but at the same time we try to assure ourselves, among ourselves, okay, let's look at the opposite directions. We have the opportunity, so we have 4 things to look after: our ibadah, our emotionals, our physical, as well as financial. But look at the solutions that are available in the Quran. So this is a time in Ramadan, perhaps there's a lot of hikmah why COVID-19 is picking up in many countries in Ramadan. So you look at the charts, for instance, all countries are picking up. Some countries are slowing down. They have flattened the curve. But for Indonesia, we are concerned that it will pick up now, this month, end of April or mid-May. There must be a reason. So I think for us, for me at least, the Ramadan is a time to reflect and really reflect deep in our side, in our soul, for emotional well-being, our body. Look at whether you gain weight or you lost weight in this pandemic season. These pandemic situations. Is your finance getting better or worse? We have to really evaluate ourselves. That's why we need to share this. But I think there are few tips and tricks that we can share later with you. So I will hand over to
Layyina,
and then we can talk to Layyina.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So Layyina, what actually you've been busy since the lockdown Malaysia, because you are from Malaysia. So, and then what other project that you're doing here today in Indonesia?
My projects?
Yeah.
Use this.
Okay, this is Layyina. She is actually first year Kuliah of Architecture, second year of Kuliah of Architecture and Environmental Design, International Islamic University, Malaysia. So she flew home on the second day of first Malaysian lockdown announcement. She managed to escape. She still managed to escape, but now the airport has been closed, and the Indonesian airport has been closed. And luckily, she's been with us for the past month. Although she had her self-quarantine for the first 14 days, at that time, So what is your project? Since you don't have actually online classes with your university, so what is your project currently?
I've been knitting.
Yes, and then
just been knitting.
Okay, so you've been knitting and then sewing and also, of course, you've been in touch with your friends, some other, in Malaysia and some other countries as well.
Yeah.
Basically, what have you been doing?
I just been. Okay.
Just tell us what you've been doing.
I just been self-reflecting. Does that count?
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
So, what do you think about, because I understand that you also like to talk about environment, and what do you think about the environment now? Is it better in that sense that no more global warming because no economic activities.
That's not true.
That's not true. Why?
No, it's gonna come back.
It's not going to come back.
It's gonna come back. It's not gonna, because we haven't changed anything about our lifestyle or the way we produce energy.
Okay.
So it's still gonna be there once it's over. When this is over, you know what I mean?
But temporarily, is the you can see the global warming is stopping or no?
No,
As the results of lockdown everywhere.
I don't think. Well, supposedly yes, but I don't really think it's gonna last.
All right.
The idea of sustainability is so it lasts, it's a long-term solution.
All right.
So this is just, I guess, a break.
A break.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Layyina used the words break. Earth has a break, but she's still, not really confident to say it's going to be sustainable in the future in terms of stopping the global warming, because she's been actually doing the protest of the use of very something like more machines, etc., and the unnecessary or overuse of the technology and industry that creates global warming or something like that. So tell us more.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to, and trying and failing. I'm trying and failing on reducing my plastic intake.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Plastic intake, everyone. So be mind with your plastic intake.
Yeah, well, that's one way to look
Do you
at
think
it.
that the household, the families, can save more by not using plastic? Apparently.
It depends in what context. If you're buying groceries, it's obviously,
It's safe.
well, it depends on where you buy. Sometimes people do tax on plastic.
Yes.
I
You
think
mean you save if you use your own recycle bag, it means you will save certain amount of money for plastics.
Yeah, but not a lot. For example, if you go to the fruit section and then you gather up the fruits in kilograms and then you put them in plastic, that's still using plastic.
All right. Okay.
If you don't want to use plastic, you have to bring your own stuff, or you have to go to like a market. So that's a little bit more expensive.
All right. Okay. So, okay, Layyina, let's go back again to where we stopped just now. I'm presenting again to you, to everyone, that we have actually some presentation going on. All right. Okay. So this is actually the just now what Pak Luqyan has explained, that we actually been called as Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba alal ladzina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. This is actually something, the call for Ramadan and for fasting, and mashallah, we've been actually on the third day, and why Ramadan is actually we believe there is a kind of self-control, month of self-control, a month of discipline, a month of caring, and a month of giving. And what about the self-control? And as we actually understand, there are three types of nafs. How we actually control nafs. Of course, nafs al-mutma'inna is something that we actually seeking for, the remembrance to Allah, and the actually is to nafs al-mutma'inna is actually something that you are searching for, the remembrance of Allah. Hearts are assured by the remembrance of Allah. And we have actually the other two nafs al-lawwama. So this is something that we need to control. Why? Because it's actually to the resurrection, so something like to forbid to go for wrongdoings, and also nafsu ammara. So it's actually to enjoy evil. So I think this is something that we need to control during Ramadan, and if we relate that to finance, Pak Luqyan. So what do you think about the Sakinah Finance model that we have so far, and what is actually these three nafs actually can be relevant?
Everything, I think. In finance, our emotional situations. We talk about nafsul people may get anxious or angry with their expenses, or when debt are high, when we are in deficit situations, we could get angry. So nafsul amara is there, and it is as we said, we discussed earlier, it's time to reflect as well. When we talk about finance, reflections is looking at our budget, our cash flows, we are over budget or under budget. So that's where we need to control ourselves. And also we talk about other nafs, other temptations, buying goods and services to serve our needs or our wants, especially our wants. That's where the other nafs will play a larger role. So make sure that we are not tempted for impulse shopping, impulse buying, or panic buying.
Yes.
Because that is our nafs, the one that triggers it is just nafs, our desire to fulfill our our wants, basically, not to serve any purpose. That's why our Sakinah model is very much built on the concept of maqasid sharia, the higher purpose of religion or sharia. We want to introduce this concept. It may sound high, it may sound very, it's not practical, but I want to show that it is possible, it is relevant, it is applicable to us, right? We talk about us needs. Scholars have identified how we should prioritize with the concept of daruriyah, hajiyah, and tahsiniyat. And we talk about how we allocate our resources, either materials, financials, or our energy. There is again a guidance there, which is to first serve the hifdul deen, right? Our effort, our resources, our money, our finance should first intend to protect our deen, right? Hifdul deen. That's maqasid sharia. Then we can move to hifdul nafas, hifdul aqal, hifdul nasl, or hifdul mal.
The last one.
The last one.
Yeah.
So protection of our religion, protection of our life, protection of our aqal, knowledge, protection of lineage or family, and protection of mal. So this is very relevant.
All right, thank you, Pak Luqyan. And this is actually the practical part of it. I would like to bring every one of you, when you look at this one, then I will come also to Layyina, how actually the teenagers and the young adults like Layyina are also managing their money. And as you can see that, during the self-control mechanism, as what Pak Luqyan has mentioned, we have actually time to be together to think about what are the mechanisms that we can check our money, check our finance. And these are actually, there are 3 types of assets we have now, inshallah. So why don't we take note on all these types of assets? We have cash in hand, we have actually emergency fund, and we have actually fixed asset that we use, and also investment assets. And I think something that we need to think about why this is important. Yeah. So also the liabilities that you need to pay back in the future, and then what other types of liabilities we have. Short term, that is below than 1 year, shorter than 1 year, you need to pay back. And long term liabilities, we need to pay back more than 1 year time. So basically it's a kind of installment time. So again, I put here husband and wife, and also who is actually responsible for this one. And it is because we need to identify whose asset is this. Who is it, husband or wife? And this is very important when you actually try to calculate your zakat. Actually who is actually responsible for who, and then and then this one is actually something that we need to think about. And as well, we need to know, from these descriptions, we understand very well whether we actually overuse, just what Luqyan said, whether we have the nuts that we overwhelm so much that we owe so many from people or from the bank, and we actually cannot pay back. For these situations, as this I described, where you have assets for 1.4 billion and you have actually liabilities for 436,000, you basically have a very healthy ratios. Your financial ratios are very healthy, and it's just that you need to check again whether there is a kind of riba transactions, and also impermissible transactions. So we need to check one by one, and also whether zakat has been paid, etc., and also whether there are some other stock or assets that we have at home at the moment during the working from home. We find out that it's actually not productive enough, and then it is mubazir, so you can actually sell, and then, or you can donate. There's something that we need to ponder after you do this one, and we as a family also has been doing this for many years, and we actually understand this very much useful for our muhasabah. Yeah, so this is time for during the COVID-19 lockdown and stay at home activities, is one of them. Is actually we really encourage you to check your finance as a part of the self-control mechanisms. And this is the bad one that we show as well. So we have actually the bad situations where the net worth is actually minus. So this is very dangerous. It means this type of person or this type of family have more liabilities than what they have. Their assets are smaller than their liabilities. And I'm sure every month this family will have difficulty in paying back their debts. So this is something that we need to avoid. If you are in this situation, we have to do this restructuring. We have to do how you remanagement, and we will be able to help you, in some other time, in certain situation. In other opportunity that we can talk about the debt structure. Okay, so this is something that we also learn about this one, that is a part of the muamala where the Islamic family finance matters. So every one of you, please think about it. Think about whether we can actually do Islamic finance in our life, Islamize all the finance that we have, and think about a solution if we actually trap into riba or unlawful situation. So we actually can come out with the Sharia solutions. So again, the do's and the don'ts that we actually encourage on the families to think about is actually, let's do proper management from now on. Let's do more charity. The more difficult situation that we are facing at the moment, the more sedekah that we should do, yeah, Pak Luqyan. So I think this is something that we've been taught, and we've been taught, and then we don't have actually, to debate why we actually have a problem with our finance, but why should we actually give more to people? Yes, this is something that we need to do when we are in a in a good situation or difficult situation, something that we need to actually carry on. And also do is smart investment, and of course the perform obligatory deeds, zakah, nafaqah, fara'id. And this is something that I found, or we found, in many Indonesian families are not aware of. And risk management also, this is very important, how the insurance, the takaful that we need to take care, and also the transparency between husband and wife, and also how we actually acquire our halal income and assets and the belonging that we have at home, whether it is actually legal or not. So something like that we need to actually perform. And Layyina, I would like to get Layyina for you. And we see here, Layyina would like to talk about the case flow for young adults like her, or teenagers, because you know, we are aware that we need to give education, early education to children. Layyina, did you get any financial educations before in your schools?
No,
Where did you get your financial educations?
you.
Okay, only from home. No, we expect actually the teachers, the school teachers or the university lecturers also give the financial education to their students. This is something that we do not really, uh, find. Well, other universities attempted to do it, but not many universities, as far as I know, that actually provide or offer financial education for the children. And Layyina, if you see this one I would like to show the okay. What about the audience? Do you see the slides? Pak Andy, do you see the slide? Yeah, Layyina, just tell us about the cash flow for teenagers. So let's say you receive money from your parents, and then what happened every day? Do you record it, and where do you record it?
Yeah, I record it every day. I usually record it every time after I eat a meal or spend my money. For example,
Okay.
I eat 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I try as hard as possible to remember that I'm spending this much, and then, or either I remember and then I'll key in later, or I just immediately write in my phone. I have an app that
All
I
right.
manage all
What do
my
you call the
finances.
apps?
Money manager.
All right. Okay. And then after that, when you record this one, the meals, you write down and how much do you budget your meals every day?
Under between 15 to 20 ringgit.
So between 15 to 20 ringgit, or in rupiah is about 600,000 per week, per month. Yeah. So it means
You have to
600.
come closer because we cannot hear. Cannot hear you.
Okay, Layyina, so it's 600,000 per month. It means every day you're trying to spend only 20,000 a day. Yeah, it's something like that. It's about 3-4 pounds. Okay, so basically your budget is 500 per month from food, from
Yeah,
meals.
500 ringgit per month.
500 ringgit per month. Yes, it's actually. Oh, sorry, I get mixed up. So 500 ringgit per month is equal to nearly 2 million rupiah. So it means divided by 30 days, you actually spend. You are planning to spend only much? 60,000 rupiah a day, or about 20 ringgit.
For food.
For food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for this, when you record this one, if roughly you actually, see money out, and you eat out, dine out, snack stock, studio projects, meals, etc. And what happened then the end of the month when you see it's been above 500?
I just try my best next time to not overspend.
All right. Okay. So, but basically, you are trying to warn yourself that, oh, I don't want to spend more than 500 a month for my meals, etc., etc., etc. But you sometimes you actually do not really, what do you call, you don't mind if you spend more, as long as you don't actually throw away or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about your parents? Are they just okay for you to spend more?
They understand the stress, I guess.
They understand the stress. Daddy, do you understand the stress? Yeah. Okay. So this is family talk. Okay. So we actually understand the stress that she has faced during her university life. So we don't mind. But as parents, we actually always advise her, do not worry about your meals. Something that we actually give note to her is actually, do not waste. That's actually our advice. Do not waste. You can actually, spend your money for meals as long as it's healthy and do not waste. So sometimes because we cannot predict, food or milk or snack or a supplement, vitamin, etc. that she needs. So we just let it go that she can go beyond her budget. Yeah, is that like that, Pak Luqyan? Please add more.
I think this is perhaps our experience when it comes to finance for children. They have different needs and different characteristics. Um, for those below 5, perhaps or before below 10, their finance is basically entirely with their children, with their parents. So we allocate pocket money, but that's not a tradition as well. What they need is the parents that we have to pay. So for those who have children, really have to think to consider children whenever you budget for the family. What I'm saying, their needs, their emotional needs, their spiritual needs, their financial needs, their of course daily needs, we have to take into account into our finance. But when they are teenagers, it's quite different. We need to teach them. Of course, we need to teach them early on, but we really have to give them certain independence in terms of managing finance when they are teenagers, starting from 11, 12, 13, 14. They have to be responsible. That's the key. You give money to them, say weekly or for a certain period. They have to record and then show the parents where the money has gone for a week. When they are going to high school, even going to university, the level of freedoms is higher. We need to treat them as adults because they have to be responsible for their budget, for their finance, for their whatever. So if teenagers, it's like weekly responsibility, weekly accountability or reporting. For high school, perhaps monthly. For university, can be one semester. So that's what we do. Layyina is given a sum of money for her full semester. So we know we budget how much she will need for the semester on monthly basis, how much, and then she will budget accordingly. That's why. But in the past 2 years or so, she has actually managed to save quite a lot actually, because she was very economical in terms of spending. So for her semester budget, you can save. She spent only perhaps 60-70%. Which is extraordinary for teenagers for these days. So, but I think it comes down to her responsibility, a sense of responsibility. She know that the money is not. You need to not take it light. You need to be responsible for whatever you spend. So we are fortunate to have Layyina being responsible in that. But the key is responsibility and of course gradual training on how children can manage their it's basic skill, being responsible, right? As an adult, we are responsible for many things. As children, they need to learn to be responsible. One of them is responsible in finance. That's all I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Pak Luqyan. We have to announce to the Google Meet participants. I think there's a problem that the outsiders, the people who are outside Taskia cannot join us, and I'm not sure why. I think I should. We have to ask apology for this one, and I hope you can actually refer to the Facebook live or our Sakinah Finance Instagram. So I'm very sorry for inconveniences for the Google Meet participants. You can try again, but we actually provided other platform for you to join. So let's go back again to our presentation that we have
something to share with you that the importance of the age group where we need to give the financial education. As what Layyina said, she is turning to 20 years old now. But she said she only gets financial education for parents. So you can imagine if the parents do not give a financial education for her 20 years of life, she doesn't know anything. See, Alhamdulillah, we actually have been teaching the children on the importance of managing the finance, and each and every one of them has actually been in a practice how to write, how to record their spending, and how to manage their money, and also to know bad and good about spending, and also do not owe. We don't ask them to get money from other people. Do not ask for loan or something. In fact, one day I would like to tell you the story that Layyina was actually in a situation that she couldn't go home from her school, and she need to borrow money from my friend in the UK, and then she hurried me to pay back that £1 sterling, about 20,000 rupiah, that she owed from this auntie Elen. And I said, okay, fine, I will pay. And then she always dragged me, mommy, please pay, don't forget to pay. You said we are not allowed to owe anyone. That is very good. So she actually understand that she should not borrow money from anyone, and if she borrowed money, she has to pay back. So I immediately called the auntie Elan, and I said, please, how much money that Layyina borrowed? Oh yeah, £1. Oh ma, it's all right, don't worry, don't pay back. So she actually get permission not to pay back, and that's the story, the end of the story. So I explained to Layyina, if you owe something from people and that person has said it's fine, I actually has given it to you, I have given it to you, so you don't have to pay back, so it means it's over. So because he was very worried, and I think that's good for us to teach our children on our financial education. And as what I'm presenting now, we actually have various various age groups from 0 to 6 years, 7 to 12, 13 to 15, 16 to 18, 19 to 23, 24 to 35, 36 to 55, and above 56 years old. And this is actually some the groups that Layyina is in as well. So many people said that we can learn financial education, financial planning after getting married, which is very wrong. So we have to start from early possible. So even from 0 year. But you may be wondering, what is 0 year means? Is it a baby? So we will talk about it. But this is something that we need to have the curve goes increasing over time. At the same time, the understanding of Aqidah, Akhlaq, Sharia is also increasing. So, and then what are the coverage of the wealth management that we would like to have, the financial education that we would like to give is actually on accumulations of wealth, purifications, and creation of wealth, and also the protection, and also the distributions. So this is actually what we have done with Indonesian's National Committee of Islamic Economics and Finance, KAED, and this is actually something, a guidance for any financial educators, including parents, not only in the formal institutions, but also parents can understand these are actually the stages that we have to give to the children as early as 0 year and as old as people who are in the retirement age. So we would like to stress all the families who are around with us now actually can uh, offer financial education to their children as early as possible. actually the message.
I think we should
Yes.
also discuss a little bit what do you mean by financial education for the children from over this period.
Yeah. Or perhaps we can ask for Layyina. What is actually Layyina needs? Because perhaps she doesn't really need on mortgage yet, because you don't need a mortgage. So what do you think that you need? What are the aspects of the financial education that young people like you need, or children need?
Perhaps you can divide when you were primary school. What sort of skill that you need in terms of is it like writing downs or understanding what that mean or
Yeah, owing money
Yeah.
to plan your budget, for example, for allowance and stuff like that, and to plan for example, because I know when you're little, you want to have, you want toys, you want to have like all those things. For example, for me, I want art supplies. So if you you're gonna like teach children how to maybe save up for the allowance so they can buy the things that they want to have.
Yeah. Okay, so Layyina just now mentioned that what they need actually the financial planning education, the financial educations for her age group is whether owing money is good or bad, and what to spend, and then what to manage, and then how much is actually the money to be spent for food. Because sometimes Laina call me, mommy, how much do I need to spend for food every day? So this is very common questions from her group, and also how much that I can spend for my lingeries, for instance, and then for 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 clothes, for bags. So a year, how much actually she can spend. And I think this is a type of financial education that we can give to them. And of course, because Laina is turning to 20 years old, and I think this is something that we need to actually, you know, give to Laina freedom on how actually she can plan for the future. So this is something that Pak Luqyan mentioned as well on dreams, that the importance of dreams that we need to actually take care during our time with the family, and also when they are even they are in a younger age group. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, uh, any questions so far? Yes. Any questions so far? Any questions from Instagram or yes? To be in your live video. All right. Okay. So Nova Diana, um, I have to give you the address of the um, Google Meet. Can you write down?
That's not what you mean.
All right. Okay. So, sorry. Okay. So this is something that we need to think about, and I can just give away like again other questions to Google Meet. Yeah, I'm not sure why I cannot approve that. Can anyone?
you have to
I
go
have problem with the Google Meet. Let me check again.
I think the setting.
Anyone can help, Pak Andy? I do not know why people who cannot get into the Google Meet. Only Taskia family can.
Maybe the setting when you set up before testing.
I don't know. I don't understand. Is there anything?
Let's we just start first.
Uh,
You do Instagram, I'll try to. You do Instagram.
Okay. So I think we'll fix it. We'll fix the Google Meet. But at the same time, we would like to get questions from Instagram. How to make a commitment to plan our budget? Very good questions, Afif. Yes, madam. How to make a commitment to plan our budget? Right. Okay. Uh, First, you need to be smart. Smart means simple, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and timely. So that's actually the budget, the key to the budget. We cannot simply write, plan for a budget that is not really possible that you can reach or you can achieve. And second, you have to write down. You have to write down. Uh, and third, you have to make sure that the budget has implications of money. Then you have to give money calculations next to the budget or the dream that you put down. And then you have to classify first year a budget plan for 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. So this is something that you normally do. And Alhamdulillah, Afif, we have actually managed to achieve our budget. Um, and in fact, when we look back again, what we have actually recorded, and Alhamdulillah, we have achieved most of them. And in fact, like last year, we actually planned only to visit for the whole family to perform Umrah. But Alhamdulillah, we actually have uh, performed Umrah plus visiting um, cave, Kahfi cave, and also Aqsa. So something like, because I believe this is uh, video ended.
Right, yeah. No, still on.
Okay, so we actually managed back again. Huh? Okay, so I'll continue again. The Google Meet still cannot
Yes.
resolve the problem.
You can't get it.
Huh?
Can't get the other people. You shut.
Okay, we come back again and so Afif, just now, did you get my answer, my response? So first, uh, anyone in the Google Meet as well, when you do the plan, classify into 1, 5, and 10 years, and then you actually um, put your message or your all right. You go back into the-
I think better use this one.
Okay, so Afif, have you actually got the message? Afif? Yeah. Okay. For the technical part of it, I can actually, if you write down in the Sakinah Finance message, we will reply to you and give you like a sample of how you do the planning and and how you actually can achieve them from time to time. So I hope that you can get benefit from this. And of course, I would like to wave to everyone, and please post any questions that you have.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so any questions from the Google Meet?
What is that? Oh, so,
I can go back again to the presentation. okay, this is actually the practice that we can have during Ramadan. So discipline, just now we have actually self-control, discipline, caring and giving. And this is actually another practice or exercise that we can have on how you actually pay your zakat. And this is actually the table that any family should have actually the zakat table in at home, and how you actually do the calculations. Yeah. So we have in our YouTube. If you, for those who are in Instagram, if you cannot see any diagram, etc., you can actually refer to our YouTube. And also in remember the table of assets and liabilities that we have, we can actually identify what are the assets that we need to pay the zakat on. So you can calculate our zakat from the record that we have. We can actually group them together because in this case they have the same nisab and qadar zakat. So and then we can actually calculate together, and this is actually the investment assets that we have, the fixed assets for the liabilities. Okay, so basically for this family they need to pay 2,162,500 zakat. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome, Afif, in Instagram. So again, I would like to see this any additional information. Perhaps you will find out your family members or your family, when they have other assets, they have actually paddy field, they have actually rental income. So what should you do with the tax, with the zakat? Okay, so this is actually something that we need to ponder. After COVID-19, it says like, you know, you will face worse than Great Depression in 1930s. So I would like to bring you to the what is the situation during the Great Depressions at the time in the USA. So people who were desperate, and perhaps Pak Luqyan could add how actually Great Depression at that time, Pak Luqyan.
Yeah, I think the Great Depression is
Why
the
people said the impact of the COVID-19 on the economy is now worse than Great Depression?
uh, the similarities. I think if you look at when the Great Depression started, it was started actually um, after the Spanish flu in 1918 that lasts until 1920, and the Great Depressions actually started 1928 or 1929. So after the great pandemic, the Spanish flu that kills millions of people in Indonesia, um, about 3 million people died in 1920s, and in the US, Europe, about the same numbers. So the great pandemic in 1920 is quite similar to the scale and magnitude of the COVID-19. So that's why a lot of people are actually predicting that after COVID-19 pandemic, we may have similar economic crisis as Great Depressions. Now, what Great Depressions means is actually uh, we experience, or the economy experience, all sorts of problems. Unemployment is high, inflation, or we had hyperinflation, the stock market crashed, the economy didn't grow at all, even negative growth. Poverty is everywhere, is rampant. So you have all sorts of problems at once. That's what Great Depression is. Nobody has a job, nobody has income. Whatever you are selling, I mean, like people who are having business, nobody is buying, and the price of necessities like bread, flour, and other food items, it increased by hours. So if you have money in the morning and you buy, you don't buy it now. You have the money. Say a piece of bread costs $200, but you just don't go to the shop at the moment. You go in the afternoon. In the afternoon, the price of bread is no longer $200 a piece, maybe double or triple. So this is the scale of the scale and magnitudes of the problems, all across Europe, all across America, all across the world. Now we are seeing the similar. We are seeing similar. I'm not saying the same situation. We are seeing similar patterns here with the pandemic. Hopefully, this is wrong. This prediction is wrong, and hopefully I'm wrong. So the Great Depression has a lasting impact on the global economy as well as to to us all as you know as people as human as people of the earth. So as I said, Great Depression's something that we don't want to experience again. But what the president, I think at the time was Roosevelt, was successfully able to navigate the crisis, and they create a lot of um, uh, labor-intensive jobs, including creating there's a Hoover Dams, the most famous one big infrastructure project created just to make sure people who were working in the factory has a job building a dam, right? This dam will later water the agriculture sector, will be able to increase food productions. But during that period, people has job. People of United States, people in the United States have job, but not just creating labor-intensive infrastructure. They also train the people, the laborers, the farmers, how to manage finances. So this is what we are trying to actually advocate. Finance is important skill during any crisis, and as you can see from the slide that actually farmers are being taught how to record all their expenses, what they receive. So basically, it's basic skill of accounting being taught as life skill, and as you can see, it works well. So after the crisis, or they were able to navigate the crisis together. They manage their income well, and after the crisis is over, they flourish as a
Yeah, yeah.
family, as a country.
Pak Luqyan, I would like to show this one for those in Instagram. What we have actually, you can always see our Facebook, Sakinah Finance Facebook, and YouTube if you would like to see the diagram, the pictures, the slides. It's very interesting. What I would like to add to Pak Luqyan's note, that is very vital point when he said, in any situations, in any crisis, managing family finance, personal finance is really important, and then can show its role. And as you can see, this is actually the picture of the farmers who actually been doing their family finance. They were poor, they were destitute during the Great Depressions, but the government actually tried to lift the economy again by giving them like seed fund, and then doing some agriculture, and this farmer family, it was taught how to record their family finance. What interesting point for me is they are poor family, Pak Luqyan, but you see this one, donations to the church. They give donation to the church, which we call it tithe in Christianity. So
Lent.
it's a it's a tenth, and it's a tenth in the Christianity, they call it, or persepuluhan in Indonesian. So why the poor family, they are poor, okay, fine, but why they have to pay certain type of donation? Yes, because once the more you give, the more you receive, and that's actually very in line what as Islam has taught us. And even in the Surah Al-Baqarah 268, for instance, one of them actually mentioned about the uh, Allah described the example or the descriptions of those people who actually spend their wealth in the way of Allah will be given back, will be rewarded multiple times. مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل من كل سنبلة مئة حبة Wallahu yudaifu liman yasha, wallahu wasi'un alim. So Allah actually will reward those who actually spend their wealth in the way of Allah. Yeah. So and then this is the sample of the the family program that has been undertaken during the Great Depression. And then, as you can see in the slides, that they write cash in, cash out, and how actually the records, and then also they've been actually the whole family members, all the whole community had been actually taught the family planning, and also the business planning, how harvest planning, and even the, you see, look at this picture, it's very interesting picture. Why the father shows to her child, Layyina, look at this picture. The father shows to her child on the importance of recording, and there is a loaf of bread over there.
Yeah.
What does it mean? What do you think?
Budget. Like,
Okay,
what do you call it?
recording,
No, yeah. Yeah.
planning.
Yeah, planning apa ya? Planning ahead, I think.
Planning ahead,
Yeah.
yes, very good. And then why is the bread? It should be there. Why these pictures, like there's a sign on this picture. There's a bread and a father teaching his daughter on family planning. It means that you will have a bright future when you engage with the planning. That's actually the message. So that was written in a research by a professor, Stephen Walker, that of course whom I admire a lot. And then he mentioned about his research, and this is actually also appeared in the newspaper to show that the success of the rehabilitation, okay, family rehabilitation, that it is actually Johnny LaRue in 1938, after the Great Depressions, managed to have his life back to normal or better than before after 2 years of the planning. So that is why I also put it in my research that I affirm that the family that keeps record, that family does not keep the record are two different situations. So this is actually the hypothesis. And those who are actually in the Instagram, if you have any question, just post it. And okay, so and then we have actually well, this is actually the video you can see from the, I'm not sure if you can see. Can you see this one in the Instagram? Okay, this is actually the research that I carried out last year. This one was invitation page, and this is. So basically, this is what I'm going to bring you. Yeah, brother. So we have brother from Russia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
yeah. Assalamualaikum. How are you?
What's your name? Yeah. So we have actually brother from Russia, and I hope you will be with us from Dagestan. And thank you for dropping by. And we hope that you can also spread out the importance of the family finance management. I almost cried to see the video just now, and we don't want to feel like Great Depression as what has been shown on the slides just now. And I think everyone, all of you agree with me that we actually should, you know, get together, and then we should actually work together and develop our own economy. And that is actually the most important thing, actually do our family planning, family management in a better way. And Brother Ibrahim, please post any questions if you have. And I hope that you can, also spread the message of our YouTube, our Facebook Live, YouTube record to everyone in Dagestan. And again, this is actually almost to the end. I would like to ask the questions also from the audience, if you have, and also from any other questions from the participants in Instagram. Again, I'll go back again to the basic questions. Why urgent? Why family finance management urgent? Layyina, do you agree with me that we have problems? Do you agree with me that why we need management? Because we have problems.
What problems?
Types of problems, financial problems.
Yes.
That's why you need management. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
So what any other solution that you think you can think of when you have problems with finance as a young adult?
In what way? Give me context.
For instance, when you have problems, what first young adults normally do? I would like to know your world, Layyina. When you have problem, you don't have money to buy something that you
You
like.
cry.
Oh, cry. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's solution, everyone.
Yeah, and then you pay. Is that what you want me to
Okay,
Yeah.
you cry and then you pray and then you ask mommy and daddy. All right, okay. What else, Layyina? Do you like do what are the management? Do you have like saving? Do you have like tell us about
Anticipation.
more about you recently posted. I mean, Sakinah Finance posted Hajj fund planning by the children. Would you please tell us about it?
What do you mean?
The Hajj fund.
The Hajj fund?
Yeah, the Hajj
okay.
fund that we paid is because of from your saving.
Ah,
What did you save at that time? Did you manage some saving from your pocket money, or is in the bank? A saving book that you have a saving in the bank?
saving the bank.
Yeah, saving. Your saving. I mean, from the Hajj fund. What did you get that from?
You?
Yeah, and then what else? Remember you have the saving, etc. Saving from the bank that you can top up as well from the Hajj fund.
No, I don't understand.
Okay. I think
What was my
Layyina is
question?
still mixing. But anyway, Layyina, what did you said just now is actually first when you want something you cry, and then second you pray, and then third you use money as. Do you have your own money?
No, I don't have my own income.
Oh,
so-
sorry. Do you have your saving?
No, saving from
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You save money from me.
Yeah, all right.
I
Okay.
don't have my own income.
What are the? I understand you bought some Reksadana. Huh? You have Reksadana. Do you understand about it?
No,
So-
not really.
But is it type of saving?
Yeah.
Okay. So Layyina tried. Actually, we both together bought like Reksadana Sharia,
Unit
and
trust.
this is how unit trust is actually a kind of investment that we would like to teach the children. And of course it's not much money, 1 million. But one day Layyina said, "Mommy, I got a notice that my Reksadana has return. How much did you get the return for? 27,000. Yeah, it's kind of 27,000 rupiah. So this is actually a practice that we can actually give to our children, and it's very interesting that um, very different when you teach children theory of Islamic finance, family finance, but you teach them with the practice that is very different. So like Layyina, like my children, we normally give them practices. They don't understand now, but perhaps they will understand later. We hope that they will understand later the benefits, etc. Again, why urgent? Go back again to the slide. Why urgent? Because we have problems. We have to go back to the Quran and Sunnah. We need management. We need 7 principles. That is why we publish our book, 7 principles, and then uh, solve our problem, restructure the debt that we have. If we have so much engaged with um, um, debt and then unpaid zakat, halal haram, we are not sure of, then we have to go back again and then make sure that we give the solutions to the problem. And of course, there are many of our family members, our neighbors, our relatives have problem with their faraid, with their inheritance. Help them to solve their problems. And then, of course, we need action. This is the action that I offer, Layyina. Do you agree with this one? So the action actually, we should um, what should we leave behind? Of course, we need to, um, to accumulate as much as possible amal soleh, amal jariyah, and then we need to settle our financial matters. We don't want to leave this world by leaving behind some amounts of debts, unpaid debts. So again, we would like to have Sakinah in life. Of course, we would like to seek syafaat for Jannah. So this is why we are urgent. So again, brothers and sisters, and all the participants in Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Google Meet. That's all for today. And I would like to entertain some questions if you have. Christ actually helped relieve the emotion. Yeah, Yania, agree with you. Because something that we might not be able to buy, or we sometimes don't understand, we can actually get that right. Okay, so thank you, Afif, and thank you for the questions. Okay, I would like to see you again in some other Sakinah Finance talks. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I will go back again to Pak Luqyan.
No, that's all I think from us today.
Okay.
Hopefully this has been useful. Keep us posted on your situations. Share with us your experiences in managing your finance. If you do have questions, follow up questions, we'll be very happy to entertain and answer them.
Yeah, Layyina, perhaps your last note.
Thank you for
Okay.
listening.
Thank you for listening, and everyone. See you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.